Betrayal of love, chaos, and loss. That's what I was feeling when I wrote this poem. So hi, welcome to this video, to the series where I want to present my poetry book. The first poem is called The Summer Storm. Well, it's not the first one, but I want to start with this one, and I would like to start with reading it and then talk about how it was created, what I was feeling. I used the imaginary of summer storm, so this is the summer storm. Heat seeping into your skin, gentle breeze stroking your chin. You are unwinding in my radiant presence, captivated by my reviving peace. The calmest person I know were your words, and I swear by the Lord, oh, I am the summer of them all, not going to fall. I am the sunshine you want to feel, the golden light you want to capture, bringing warmth even to the coldest torture, making sure you will heal. So tell me, baby boy, when the rapid heating of my heart burst with emotions, creating instability in my devotions, did your face lose all of its joy? Perhaps your lookout was no longer gleaming when my mouth started screaming, crying, cursing, whispering, as the swaying light began flickering. Dark clouds gathered rapidly on the horizon, emotionally charged gusts of wind assaulted your mental mansion, flashes of memories illuminated the sky, followed by the crashing sounds of my heart's cry. Perhaps you were surprised that the chirping birds took shelter, thinking I am crazy in this melancholy anger, not understanding why I persisted in this battle you no longer thrilled. Discarding me and forgetting you treated me as your girl. But I was no longer able to care about my good appearance, not when there were bleeding battle strokes on my piece, and not liking this hazardous game. I let the downpour come. Rapid flooding of my senses, tear-stricken visibility washing away my lines, rinsing away the fresh paint, leaving our canvas with the colors of rust. Happiness or hardships, I will be forever endlessly loyal, but I will not forget about my fertile soil, the one where the orchids grow. I will tarnish everything to protect my peace glow. And your static noises were disrupting my communication, no longer making sense in your explanation. You blew me over the cliff, making my unyielding presence deadly stiff. The consequences are under your name, because the decision was never mine, so not anxious about the potential damages, I let the chaos rip off my bandages. Never wanted this flooding storm, but in the name of peace, I let the sword of flashes form and brought them down on us, striking our rusting trust. Prone to break from the very start of the calamity thoughts, I responded with a natural backlash to your blows. I let the salty rain pour down, soaking my gown and neglecting my crown. I was flooding every shelter in this ghost town, bringing the water even to the downtown, not realizing that was my hometown. And when I stepped, I was in breathless wonderment, laying on the muddy ground, bones broken with a mourner. I did not understand. This used to be my luminous homeland. I love this poem. I really do. Because this poem represents for me so much. And as the time goes, I think I can see how much my perspective has been changed, and how much my emotions, how much I have evolved. And so for this poem I used the summer storm analogy. And do you know how the summer storm is created or not created? Do you know how the summer storm comes? It's sunny day outside, you don't suspect anything. The birds are chirping, kids are playing, you can hear laughter. Everybody is calm. There is joy in the air, there's peace all around you. You are calm. You are vulnerable because you feel like you let all your guards down. You are just soaking the sun and enjoying the present moment. But then suddenly you see dark clouds gather on the horizon, and you are looking at them, but you are thinking, that no, this is not true. The day is so nice, like the whole day was so sunny, so warm, so calm. There is no way that those clouds are heading towards you. So you are basically lying to yourself. You are gaslighting yourself that the storm isn't going towards you, that it is not heading towards you. And as you're in this process of kind of gaslighting yourself and still being in that bliss, suddenly those clouds are above your head. But you don't know what to do. You don't know what to feel. And you're kind of still gaslighting yourself that no, it's not real. But then it starts raining and you don't know how to feel. Like should you like pack your picnic blanket and go run, or like should you stay because it will be only few drops? You don't know what kind of storm it will be. Like will it be only gentle rain that will nourish the plants, or will it be a summer storm that will destroy everything? You don't know, and I didn't know what to expect. So I stayed. I stayed because I believed that it will be only a gentle rain that will help us grow. And the thing about me is that when I wrote I'm the sunshine, you want to feel the golden light, you want to capture, breaking warm even to the coldest torture, making sure you will heal, is that I like to make people feel good around me. I really want people to feel good about in my presence, and I want to give people only the best from me. And even though I cry a lot in my life, because sometimes it feels that I have all those heavy clouds on my shoulders and it rains a lot in my world, and I'm not complaining. I wouldn't change it because it made me the person I am today. All the rain or the storms, it made me who I am, and I'm so proud of myself. I love myself. But when I'm with those people, I don't like to bring rain to their world, to their home. So even though it might be raining in my home, when I'm with the people, I like to stick out my head above the clouds and just be, to be the sunshine. I'm the sun above the clouds, and I'm always trying to be positive, most loving version and most kind version of myself. So even in that situation when the rain was coming, when I started to see some signs, I was kind of gaslighting myself because I like to see only the best in the people, or maybe not the best, because I know that sometimes people are not that good, or their intentions are not aligning to what I'm thinking that their intentions are. But I still like to search for the good even in the bad situations, and I think that was what's happening here. I was just trying to search for it, that yes, this is maybe the pillar we needed to build, this is something we needed to overcome, so then our flowers will be growing. The reason why I use summer storm analogy is because I think a lot of times in my life it feels like I need to be leader, or I need to be somehow on top of the things. I need to be bigger person. I need to think about others, like, so I won't hurt their feelings. I need to always take care of some things. I always felt like I need to be on top or on guard always. And with that person, I was suddenly calm. I was like, it felt like I could breathe out, and that the external world is not existing, that it's only like this present moment where I can bask in sunlight. That is not me. Like, I can calmly breathe, and that was for me something so rare, which I never experienced before, and I didn't want to take it for the granted. I definitely wasn't taking it for the granted. I was so grateful for that, and as this was happening for quite some time, I think I got so used to it that when suddenly the storm came to that world, I didn't believe it. I really didn't. To be honest, it felt like I prepared the best picnic of my life, or as if I was having the best picnic of my life, sitting on a large meadow with flowers and chirping birds, like gentle breeze stroking your chin, sunshine about your head, and you were sitting on the picnic blanket with prepared homemade food, in your best dress, feeling so good about yourself, about the whole situation, about the whole life. Like it felt like there were pink clouds about your head in the best kind of way, like in the healthy kind of way. And as the rain came, you didn't say you suddenly didn't know if you should bag the picnic blanket and move to somewhere else, to some shelter, or just to postpone it to the next day, or if you should stay on that picnic blanket if it will be only a few drops. And I decided to stay. And as I stayed, thinking that the rain will pass, actually the opposite happened, and with each passing minute, the rain was stronger and stronger. It was heavier and heavier. And so I stood up and started fighting with all I got. Actually, I think at first I was just there sitting, like letting the rain embrace me, and I'm not sure if it in what kind of way to embrace me. If it was in a good way or bad way, I was just there getting soaked, and I think I was in this kind of like state in between of good and bad. I was in this not knowing, and that's the worst kind of feeling because I was just sitting there, fully aware, but also not fully aware, if it makes sense. I was so unsure of what is happening or how I should handle the situation that I was just sitting there, not doing anything at first. Then it was about then I was gaslighting myself, and then when I understood that the rain is really here and that it is becoming heavier and heavier, I stood up and started fighting, which is, I think, what the person wasn't expecting at all, because he literally told me that I was the calmest person he knows. And as I always like to make feel people, as I always like to make people feel good and bring only the best feeling, to give them only the best from me suddenly fighting was something so unusual even to me. Like I never argue, I never fight, because I think that's something that it's not for me, as I understood that that takes a lot from my emotions. Like me fighting, it really means that I have to love you, but I still don't like to do it because I know that it takes so much emotions from me that it is not healthy. And I still, with people I love, I try to communicate and not to go to that scenarios where we need to fight, where we are fighting. So it's fighting for me is something really unusual. So the whole situation when I suddenly stood up and was fighting back, it was so strange and so destroying at the end. And the strangeness of the situation was when the birds took shelter in the poem, because it felt like they were hiding behind me and I was standing before them trying to protect them. And in a way, I was kind of protecting them, because the birds were metaphorically my smile, my peace, my love. It was the sparks in my eyes. And as the storm came, the birds cannot fly in the rain, and they definitely cannot fly in the heavy rain, so they needed to hide. But when the storm is so strong that it destroys even the shelters, it's never good. I also think the hardest part of it was that the person I felt so calm in their presence, they called in the storm, they called in the rain. And when I wrote, perhaps you were surprised that the chirping birds took shelter, thinking I am crazy in this melancholy anger, not understanding why I persisted in this battle you no longer twilled, discarding me and forgetting you treated me as your girl. And I think this was kind of the worst part of it, that the person I was feeling so calm with in their presence, where I was the one basking in the sunlight, where I was the one calmly breathing, I couldn't grasp how could they call in the rain, because they were the person who called the rain. And then when I stayed in that rain, when I kind of embraced the rain, and when I was trying to protect our picnic blanket, they were surprised and they didn't understand why I decided to stay and fight. And that felt like a betrayal. That was such a betrayal from that person, because how could you not see, how could you not understand why I'm still standing here before you, trying to do everything, trying to say everything, trying to find any reason and you don't understand. And it felt like they discard me, you know? It felt like they discard me, like like they did 180 on me overnight, and suddenly I am nobody to them. And that hurt. That really hurt. So, yeah, it felt like I was crazy in a melancholy anger. But probably to the other person it felt like I was a clown, like, what are you doing? But I was there, soaking my gown, neglecting my crown, because I was trying everything. I was saying the things I should never said. I was trying to bend my own rules, cross the lines, be the person I wasn't. Because I was so afraid of losing that person. I was so afraid of losing that moment that I was trying everything, and it wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. But I didn't know how to stop. The thing about me is that I'm so freaking loyal that I want to stay with you. Like, if I let you into my life, I want to keep you forever. I will keep you forever. I will do everything to keep you forever with me, to have the best memories, best kind of life together, even if it means friendships or in a romantic way. If I let you in, I want to keep you, because I will be loyal to you. I will be so loyal to you. I will be your bigger cheerleader. I will be your bigger supporter. I will be your best friend. I will be everything you need me to be. And and when I can see that the person is still standing before me, in my head it meant that, oh, there is a still chance, because the person is still standing before me. They are still saying something to me, which in the end were static noises that kind of were disrupting my communication, because I was trying everything. I was like, I was overthinking the whole universe. I was trying, but the person was just staying here and pushing the button, like, play again, play again, play again. And then it like hit me that, what? Like, what are you doing? Like, I'm trying, and you, like, even when I think of some good solution or something that really could work out, it will it won't work out, and it never really had a chance to work out, because even if on the paper it was perfect, it was game for two. And if I am the only one who is willing to play, who is willing to stay, then what is the point of the game? Like, it would never work out. And so that was another betrayal. That was another betrayal, that you saw me trying so hard. You saw me standing there, getting soaked by the rain, by my tears. I didn't know. I didn't know what I was getting soaked by, because I was so overwhelmed with the feelings, and they still left me standing there watching me. It was such a betrayal. It felt like such a betrayal that I couldn't believe it. And yeah, so I kind of, at that point, I kind of didn't care what will happen. I didn't care. It overwhelmed me to the point where I couldn't really think straight, and I just went head in. I just went head in. I went head in as a freaking bull who is like chasing the red color. But I was the summer storm. I became the summer storm. And as I went in, I get completely lost. So I wrote, rapid flooding of my senses, still stricken visibility washing away my lines, rinsing away the fresh paint, leaving our canvas with the colors of rust. I was getting so overwhelmed that it felt like I was getting lost in my own presence. The irony of the situation is that I had all the power, but in the end I didn't have any power. It felt like I had all the power, but I was just an animal with an open wound, just waiting for I don't know. I was just so vulnerable for that person, because of that person, because of me, because I allowed myself that. And so I became the summer storm. And by becoming a summer storm, I paid the highest price. I destroyed all the flowers, I flooded every seed from the ground. I flooded every part of me, my heart, my brain, my whole body. It felt like I was drowning in my own body and I didn't know how to swim to the surface. I just couldn't swim. I couldn't be around me. I couldn't be in my own presence because suddenly I didn't recognize who I am. I was meant to be. I am the summer day. I am not summer storm. So how I could become one? I was betrayed. I was betrayed, but I won't blame only the other person because I was there as well. It takes two, and I think the worst part of this all was that I betrayed myself. And as the time went on, and as I healed many wounds, as I swept off many floors, as I cleaned all the shells, as I dried off my gowns, polished my crown again, I realized that I betrayed also myself. I betrayed myself in the process of trying to be loved, which is actually one of my biggest trauma since I was a little. I used to think that I couldn't be loved. And I healed it. After many years, I healed it and I told myself, I really started to believe that I also can be loved, that I am already being loved and I can be loved so much more, that I deserve all the love in this world. I really learned that. I believed that. And I told that to that person and suddenly they did 180 on me. And I wasn't prepared for it. Nobody will prepare you for that. I thought that my base is so strong. I thought that my roots are so strong that nothing can destroy it. Turns out that it can be destroyed by a person, and so much more when you are assisting them. And I did exactly that. I assisted that person, and at the end it was my head who destroyed me. I destroyed myself by trying to be loved so hard, by wanting to be loved so hard that I forgot that I already love myself. I forgot that. And I didn't understand because that was my luminous homeland, but I forgot that I have one. I forgot that I had already a home. That's crazy, isn't it? There is this quote that goes like, the rain is good because it nourishes the plants. And I think that's true. In every relationship, you should have some rain. Rain is good because it nourishes the plants, then the flowers can grow and you will appreciate it, the sunshine, so much more. You will learn so much during the rain. So I think the rain is good, but the storm is never good. Summer storm only destroys. It destroys the plants, it destroys everything you work on. And it doesn't matter if it's been months, if it's been years, it can destroy everything in a few seconds. So I think if you are in a healthy relationship, if you are in a healthy place, there won't be any summer storm. There shouldn't be any storm. There can be rain. The rain can be heavier, but it should never be a storm that is directed towards you. And if there is a storm, if you have to fight through that storm to stay somewhere, to stay with somebody, it was never meant for you. Especially if you are not the storm. If you are the opposite of the storm, pack your picnic blanket and go somewhere else. Go somewhere where the sun is shining, where your presence will be reciprocated. Go somewhere where your presence will be cheered on, where your presence will be appreciated. So looking back at this poem, I wrote it, I think, actually almost like a year and a half ago. And my feelings have changed a lot. I definitely gained the bigger picture because for a long time I was actually stuck only being able to see a small picture, and I think part of me, it was me not allowing myself to see bigger picture because I kind of not sure if I wanted, but more so I needed to kind of like bask in those emotions, even though they were heavy. And part of me were like, okay, when does this end? I am so tired of it. I don't want to cry again. I don't want to think about that person. I want to move on. I want to be the version I was before. But it took me actually a long time to realize that I will never be a version of myself that I was before that person, before that storm. And it took me so long to realize that I don't even want that version of me back. I loved myself even back then. I am so thankful for that version, for everything she went through. And I will forever love her and be thankful for her, but I don't want her back. I don't want to be that version again because during that storm, it showed me so much. I learned so much about myself. As the storm destroyed me, but after that storm, many times the rain had come. My tears were streaming down my face so much that it felt like it was raining so often. But at the end, from that rain, I grew a flower. I grew flowers. I grew so many flowers, so many beautiful flowers I haven't even dreamed of. And I wouldn't change those flowers for anything. So when I wrote that poem, I needed to get all the anger out. I needed to feel validated because at the time it felt like nobody understood me. Like when I was writing the whole book, it felt like nobody ever was in that situation, which is crazy because there's millions of people who are going through this. Maybe you're also going through this right now, and I know that it might feel like there is nobody who feels the same, who was in the same situation, even though there is millions of people. But I had a lot of friends around me, but it felt like they didn't really understand. And after time went on, it felt like I was crazy because I was still stuck in that loop, still thinking about it, still bathing in those feelings, still crying. So I wrote this book because it was my diary. It was my only way of how to really properly and 100% honestly get out all the feelings. Because even though I told my friends a lot, some things I didn't tell them because I was getting annoyed by myself, and I knew that okay, this is not what I want to project on them. This is not how I want to spend my time with them. So I didn't tell them, and I wrote that poem. So at the time it was for me really a healing point and trying to make sense in my emotions, trying to feel a little bit lighter, to get the deep breath out once again. and now it represents for me a healing poem. It's like a token I got from that breakup. It shows me everything I went through, all my feelings, and how much I grown. It shows me that I once was stuck in that summer storm, that I once stayed willingly in that summer storm, and that I never want to do it again. I already wrote that story once, and I will never write it again. And I know, never say never, but at least I learned from it. I learned that if it will come again, I will pack my picnic blanket and I will be out of there sooner than you can think. Like I will be so out of that situation, and I won't leave you anything. I won't leave you a freaking muffin. Like, thank you, it was nice meeting you, but I'm out of here because I brought the picnic blanket, and if you can sit on that blanket and be polite, be smiley, and be thankful for me, then you don't deserve my blanket. Like, you don't deserve my blanket, and that's it. So that's what also represents now this poem for me, that I will never end in that situation again, because I understood that if the person is right, they will never put you in that situation. And how I know that? Because I would never put that person in that situation. I would never put any person I love in that situation. Yes, if it will be raining because of me, I'm sorry for that. There is probably something we need to talk about, we need to figure it out together, we need to solve together. But never the storm. Never. So that's what this poem is for me, and why I love it so much, because this poem destroyed me as equally as it healed me. And I love it. I love it. So hopefully this will make some sense to you. Hopefully it wasn't that messy. I'm still learning this YouTube concept and how I want to talk about my poetry. This book has at the moment I think 33 poems, and I would love to talk about each one of them, because to be honest, my friends, they have this book, some of them, because English is not my first language, and so some of my friends don't really speak English, and as the whole book is written in English, they are not really being able to read it, or maybe they don't fully understand poetry, or you know what I mean behind this, and the ones that have this book, they never read it, and um you know, I kind of want to talk about my book. I want to talk about all the things I wrote, or all the sneaky things I wrote. I would love to talk about it and to be like, yeah, this is genius, this is super, super nice, this is so good, and but I don't have that person. And yeah, so actually I don't know any person. I'm not sure. I'm more wanted to cry, but I don't have any person. I don't know any person who would read this book like fully, who would read the whole book. And yeah, I guess this is another way of my, this is another way, or like, this is extension of my diary, of my book diary. So this will be like video diary, and I do truly hope that I will help somebody with these messy videos, and that I will make somebody feel heard, seen, and like they belong, and that they are heard, because we all deserve to be loved, and you are loved. So hopefully I will see you with the next poem. I wish you a nice day.